greatest.
Cleveland, this is for you. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here. We're still here.
It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their second three-peat.
And we are locked in. Max and Dave here from the Locked In Sports Podcast. Dave, the Wave. What'd it do?
Cuzzo, it's been great, man. One of the best weekends in sports history. Tiger Woods winning the Masters, NBA playoffs, which like shocking upset so far. Which if every team just swept and it was like an easy, if Denver sweeps and the Raptors sweep, it's not cool. So far I'm loving Brooklyn, I'm loving Orlando. This is great. And then the UFC 236, which we can talk about at the beginning or at the middle or at the end. But the two greatest co-main and main event back-to-back. We were with it together with the Professor John Radford, one of the greatest UFCs of all time.
Let's go Magic.
Is that where you want to start?
Yeah, I feel good, man.
Okay.
I know we talked about it, but I'm just happy that the Lakers won a game. The Magic won a game.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, they're not winning the series. I know a lot of, I'm a realistic, because we're covering the Magic. So you can call me a fan. I'm covering them, and I'm going to be realistic with them. I'm not going to just be like, of course, I'm rooting for them to do good, but I'm not going to be unrealistic and say they're going to beat the Raptors. They're going to lose to the Raptors, but I'm very happy with what I see from the team now going forward with the players that they have, how they're able to match up with teams, the young, the youth, the length, defensively. There's a lot of things to be happy about. I just hope, and I've sat next to the general manager. He's a pretty cool guy. I hope they continue it. I hope they don't get impatient and make something bold like they've done in the past.
Over, under 2.5 wins in this series.
Put me on the spot.
That's what we get locked in for, cousin.
I think over.
Really?
No. I'm gonna go under. Okay.
I think. Don't let me talk.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I got a little courageous. I think that's probably it. I think they probably win one. And maybe two, but I don't see them. I think Toronto got a wake-up call. I think as bad as Kyle Lowry has been in the playoffs, I probably don't see him scoring 0 points again. I think Kawhi Leonard realizes, okay, look, people want to come and play. This isn't just – I feel like there's a new sense of hope in the East, and we can debate about who's going to win it. It may be Boston. It may be Milwaukee. Probably not Philly. Toronto has a legitimate chance. But now that LeBron's not there, I feel like everybody's like, okay, hey, this is our opportunity to start fresh, to start new. So I think teams see that, and there's the sense of urgency in the East that hasn't been there in a while. So I think the Magic really, if they don't win another game, I'm very happy with what I saw from Orlando.
Talking about some urgency, how about Brooklyn?
Yeah,
that was awesome. That was the game of the weekend for me. I just loved their energy. I love their cohesiveness, how they play together. I feel like that team's a family. I feel like everyone's rooting for everyone. Great chemistry. When it's D'Lo's time to shine, he shines. When DeWindle scores, he shines. How about Ed Harris? Ed Lewis? Mm-hmm. Ed Harris, I nailed it.
Think so.
The lefty big. I just love him down low. I like their team, man. Ed Davis, nailed it.
Excuse us,
University
Ed
of North
Davis.
Carolina.
All right, now let's be honest here, Dave. As a Knicks fan, are you a little worried that now Brooklyn is starting to heat up as far as a free agent destination where it's like Kyrie and Jimmy have rumored to go to Brooklyn before? New York's still the Mecca. New York is still a much bigger franchise. But the fact that it still is New York, it's Brooklyn, do you think there's an opportunity that a free agent goes to Brooklyn over New York? All right, you're being a little fan.
0%.
All right.
Cuzzo, come on
Just
now.
saying.
0%. The Knicks.
Just saying.
It's Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the world. The history. When people play there, James Harden goes there, Kobe Bryant goes there, even LeBron. They always say something
bigger,
about it. Dwayne Wade's last game there, they gave him a standing ovation. Brooklyn is kind of new and hip and cool, and I'm into them. I like their team. I like where they're going. They have a great direction, all that stuff. But for one, they have a lot of players kind of like now in spots like Kyrie can't go there. They have D'Lo, the All-Star, D'Angelo Russell, and they got even backup point guards, Levette. Mm-hmm. And you can't, how about, you can't have Jimmy Butler go there. Like, he doesn't fit. Like, I think you can get a big, you can get a DeMarcus Cousins maybe, but the last episode of Locked In, I got Cousins going to the Lakers. So, no, New York is, the Knicks to me are surging at the right time. This is, I think they got great positive momentum. Coach Fizdale, people love. Steve Mills is the GM, going to be an African-American GM. A lot of players like that. I like the Knicks, where they're going.
Sounds good.
Zion Williamson, May 14th is happening. I'm having a party May 14th. I want a piñata. I want Moe's to like cater in. May 14th, the NBA lottery. Everyone that listens to this episode, you're welcome to my house.
So we have the Magic. Yep. The Nets upset the 76ers. I have two big things that not like the biggest thing in the playoffs, but two things I feel like no one's talking about. One is Ben Simmons underachieving, where to the point where I think you and I like owe the people an apology. Like, we all know Giannis was better. You and I thought Ben Simmons probably the next guy in the NBA.
Sure.
Not looking like that because he doesn't look like he works as hard as Giannis. That's one thing. I had a conversation with Spencer. He's my brother. And, like, we talked about everything. I'm like, you're more intelligent than I am. But I feel like I will outwork anybody if it's my passion. I don't think anyone on this planet will work harder than me if it's something I want to achieve. It's something that I love.
Okay.
And put yourself in the right opportunities, work hard. But I think he's more intelligent than I am. I think there's a lot of people smarter than me, but may not work as hard or put themselves in the right opportunity. I think Ben Simmons has all the talent in the world. I just don't think he works hard. And that's a terrible ingredient to have to be the next. You can't be the next guy to have that. And
what does Tom Brady do more than anything?
Works harder, but he's not more
talented.
talented.
What did Jeffrey Jordan do?
Works harder.
Yeah.
LeBron had talent, but he worked hard. Like
Derek Jeter.
Zion has talent, but he works hard. Like, there's so many players. Steph Curry works hard.
Yeah, man. If you want to be the best in the world, best on the team, best of a generation, I don't care how much talent you have to work harder than the next man every day. First man in, first man out. Kobe Bryant worked harder than anyone in the world, so just absolutely. You need that talent for sure.
With Ben Simmons doing that, and not showing that he even can shoot a three, not even respectable. Teams will literally not guard him. They'll put two on Embiid. That's terrible.
I agree.
You and I would shoot better from the 3-point line than Ben Simmons. 100%.
I shoot better than anyone in the league right now.
Ben Simmons is 100% a legitimate NBA elite player, and he can't shoot better than us from the 3-point line. And it's hard. I never like to critique NBA players. I would make that shot and you wouldn't, because it's different. The lights are bright, people, elite defense, but they're literally not playing any defense on them at the 3-point line. These are wide open 3-point attempts.
Once a shooter, always a shooter.
And you can't make a respectable three, so that's the first one. Two is, how bad are the Pistons? Nobody talks about them, right? Because you say, the Suns are terrible, the Bulls are terrible, the Knicks may get Zion. You're listing, all the bad teams in the league, and it's the Hawks weren't good, but they got Trae Young. The Cavaliers are terrible, post LeBron, awful. How bad have the Pistons been? It's you have Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, and they're the 8th seed.
Yeah, they're the 8th.
So you have the best rebounder. He was an all-star. Blake was an all-star. You have 2 all-stars. That team is in such a terrible position because you made the playoffs. You're not going to get a big lottery pick, but you're awful. That game against Milwaukee, I know Milwaukee's sweeping them.
Oh, yeah.
But Miami should be in that spot over Detroit. They don't even look competitive. They don't even look like they're playing with effort. Pistons are awful. The Pistons have been awful for a while.
Wow. Okay, so you went there. Before we go into Tiger Woods and UFC 236, we've been talking Brooklyn, Orlando, Philly. We're all on the East Coast, Cuzzo. How about the West? Golden State dominated the Clippers, kind of what we thought.
Surprise.
Yeah, right. They're going to dominate everyone. They're going to win the title. Surprise, surprise. Houston looked awesome, too. I liked how they played against Utah, which is probably the best first-round series. And then also the other 2 series was OKC and Portland.
Oh, interesting. Westbrook lost game 1.
Oh, they played really good, though. That was one of the best games. And you had OKC in the Western Conference Finals.
I do. They have the best path, 100%.
That was surprising me when I saw that.
Because Houston has to play Golden State in the second round.
Yeah.
If Houston was in opposite positions, I would have Houston and Golden State. Because the way the playoff bracket seeded and the way it played out, they should beat Portland. Like, I think they should beat Portland. Who's the next team that they play after that?
That's Portland? What I kind of want to get into. It's Denver or San Antonio.
And they should beat both of those teams.
And like that was the one series I really thought back and forth. But I was like, guys, I'm going to give Denver the bone here. They play great all season long.
That's the tough one for me, though.
And San Antonio, I'm like, guys, I know it's the Spurs. And I know it's Greg Popovich. But it's like it's DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge. I'm like, they just can't do it. I'm going in with Denver. And that's why I only had them win one playoff series, and I had OKC advancing. God, but the Spurs beat them in Denver.
I'm about to say, if there's two playoff things I could change right away already off one game and not trying to be hyperbolic,
sure.
Toronto beats Philadelphia. I had Philadelphia over Toronto.
I know, that surprised me when you had that.
I'm like, you know what? Everyone's all high on Toronto. And
Toronto's
I feel
awesome.
Yeah, they're low on Philadelphia, but I'm like, I think Philly's going to find a way because of their star power, and I think Jimmy down the stretch is crucial. Like, I think he's crucial. I picked Philly. I should have picked Toronto. And then I definitely would have taken, not definitely, but I think I'm leaning towards more San Antonio in this series now.
Okay, so locking in. I know before the series you had
I had Denver.
I had Denver too. I'm still sticking with the Denver Nuggets to advance right now.
That's tough.
Cuzzo.
That's tough.
Denver or San Antonio?
I would lean, I'll go San Antonio, but I would go Toronto.
Oh, yeah, like Toronto, that's locked in.
Yeah, Toronto over Philly.
You did that, and I thought that was a mistake.
Yeah, I was like, because I'm higher on Philly than a lot of people are.
You are.
Because there's a lot of chemistry issues.
And they have a great starting roster, but I just didn't like going into the postseason. I didn't like their chemistry issues.
Yeah, they have chemistry
Joel
issues.
Embiid's injury, and I didn't like how Ben Simmons can't shoot. I'm like, oh, guys, this is not the postseason for them. Maybe 2-3 years from now they'll clean up some of this stuff, and they'll be better. I still think, in a way, Jimmy Butler takes away from Embiid. It's just not a good mesh. Like, sometimes too much is too much.
Yeah,
and you just need – Embiid is a top 10 player in the world when healthy. You don't need, like, Jimmy Butler to try to take over Embiid's spot. You can only have one king.
Yeah, and
only one king of the Game of Thrones. Only one guy can take the throne.
It's gonna be Jon Snow.
Wow, spoiler alert, jeezy.
No, we didn't think that going into season 8. I think Philly's just. I think something drastic happens in Philly too. Like, I really do. Like, I think
in the offseason.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler's gone.
I think Jimmy's gone. I'm not saying Ben or Embiid are going to get traded right away, but I think you and I both agreed this going forward. They're not going to be teammates for long. I really don't think so.
Okay.
They're not blending well.
All right, so that's cool. We put a bow on the playoffs so far. I'm excited. Like, this round's cool. I love the playoffs for one. Every night there's like 3-4 games on. I love it. Like, that's what I love about March Madness. That Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is just incredible for that first weekend. Tonight, 4 games. Tomorrow night, 3 games. The next night, 3 games. Like, there's just East Coast, West Coast. So it's 1:15 a.m. We should be sleeping. I'm watching NBA postseason. It is what it is. But the second round is where it's at. Because that's when we could see Toronto, Philly. That's where we could see the Bucks in a legitimate series against Boston.
That's my most exciting series to watch.
Yeah, probably the whole thing, because we both have Golden State winning the whole thing probably pretty easily. And Golden State, Houston, I'm just not into it. Like, I saw that last year, and I saw Houston choke for some reason. I'm not excited as much as Milwaukee, Boston. Or, it's weird, I'm super excited for whatever happens in the bottom of the West there, because you can argue that OKC, Portland, Denver, or San Antonio are all going to win 2 playoff series. That's the one that's like up in the air. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not the great Bucks or the dynasty of the Warriors.
Yeah, that's I think an issue with the NBA. Houston Warriors are my favorite series to watch in the West, and that's going to happen in the second round. And like we just said, Bucks, Milwaukee, and Boston is going to happen in the second round, and that's the other series. So 2 second-round series, and we're not even talking about the Eastern Conference or the Finals is the most exciting.
It's crazy.
And I can't stress this enough. You said it on the podcast, and 100% has to happen. I 100% agree. It shouldn't be 7 games. It should be 3 to 5 game series.
I know.
3 is like tight. I think 5 is more realistic. But
how about the first round be 3? Because that's the least teams. Because Detroit should not be in a 5-game series. Like, let's move it on. Let's get it going. Then the next round is 5. The Western Conference, Eastern Conference is 5, and then the NBA Finals is 7.
It needs to something like that for sure,
right?
Yeah, because I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, we don't need to see this. Like, we don't need to see Milwaukee and Pistons. Like,
no.
we know this. They're not winning it. Like, they're not winning it. Like, and the sense of urgency is the one thing that the NFL kills.
Yes, like with Orlando winning. You ask any legitimate NBA analyst, exec, scout, everyone still has Toronto winning the series. But if it was a 3-game series and they're going back to Orlando now, like, that's awesome. Everyone will be watching Game 2. Like, we're gonna have a podcast that night, maybe, but we got to watch Game 2 first. You know what I mean? Like, it just brings urgency to that game.
Yeah, and so college, the ratings are good. March Madness, they don't have nearly the amount of talent. Sense of urgency. Talent would make the NBA playoffs. I'm not saying it would overthrow the NFL, but it would be competitive because you'd have now Portland could be like, oh, we may beat the Thunder, so now the Thunder could get eliminated. What if Houston won Game 1 against Golden State? Now it's like we just win 2 more and we beat Golden State.
Sick. Wow. Tiger Woods or UFC 236?
First, an apology to Joaquin Phoenix and Joker. So this is off script too. I was like, I watched that trailer probably 5 times.
Oh, gosh.
And the first time I'm like, this is awful. Like, they messed it up. Like, the first trailer period was terrible. The second one they just came out with, everyone knows we're movie guys if you listen to the podcast. The second one I watched, I'm like, not feeling it. Because I'm comparing everyone to Heath Ledger. And to me, there's no one willing to be better than Heath Ledger. Like, that rugged look. It was almost like realistic, like it could happen.
Yeah.
He's just pure evil. I didn't like the gangster one in Suicide Squad. He's more about the money than evil. And then this one, I'm like, he looks too clowny. And I get it's supposed to be in the 80s. It's an origin. But he doesn't even, like, he looks too clowny. Like, doesn't look rugged. He doesn't look like I'm scared of him. Then I watched it again with John. I'm like, hey, okay, that does look better. I watched it 3 times today. I'm actually excited for the Joker movie. I owe Joaquin Phoenix an apology for saying it looks terrible and awful. Because he, for one, looks creepy. 2, he's a good actor. And 3, he's just representing it in his own way. And it does look pretty creepy.
Cuzzo.
DC just does a bad job if it's not written by the people who made the Batman series.
Exactly. I got 2 points. 1, it's DC.
Yeah.
Okay, so come on. Like, when it's got momentum going one way and you got momentum going another way, it's DC, so it's not going to work. That's for 1. And number 2, you ready? This is the number 1 reason. When's the movie coming out?
October.
When's Endgame coming out?
Oh, this month.
Yeah, this month. Like, it's spring break, it's Easter. It's going to turn into summer for the kids. The kids are going to come out of school. It's the best time for movies. It's big weekends. People are traveling. October. Name me big movies that come out in October.
I'm terrible with movie dates. Like, I can name great movies, but I probably couldn't off the top of my head.
Terminator 2 was
the
summer. That's
like
what exactly. It's horror movies. It's Halloween movies. It's scary
Joker
movies.
is creepy. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying he's supposed to be a horror film, but I'm saying he is towards the creepier side.
No, I get that, but like that's not. They're not all time top 50, top 100 movies.
Not
like,
blockbuster.
Not a blockbuster movie. So it has a bad release date, and it's DC.
Aquaman had a bad release date, and it was DC.
No, Aquaman wasn't a bad release date.
It was summer.
It was winter. Like, it was Christmassy.
Yeah.
That's
What
good.
was Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman spring of 3 years ago. It's a spring, like this April, like July 5th is always great, the July movies, and then there's great summer blockbusters. But then, no, Christmas is... Star Wars trailer just came out. It says Christmas.
No, I know Christmas and summer are big.
And Thanksgiving's also big, too. September and October and January is the worst month.
I'm about to say because I think they... I don't know. Did you see Shazam? I heard Shazam.
I haven't yet. I want to. Like, I'm into that. I'm going to go see it on a Tuesday at 10:30.
Someone said an 8 out of 10 and a 9 out of 10.
That's good ratings.
I'll leave them anonymous in case you hate the film. But
put him on blast. I want to see it. No.
Anyway, let's get into Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. The first thing beyond anything, I'm like...
Did you cry?
Yes.
Did you honestly cry? Like, you honestly shedded a tear?
No, I didn't shed a tear. My eyes got watery. And this is where I'm going with it. And I think anyone who listens to the podcast knows I'm such a dad.
Yeah, and
like
his son.
Yeah, like that's God sprinkled dust on this planet for me to come and talk sports and be a dad. Like that's my thing. And when he hugged his son afterwards, who like never seen him win a big major, I'm like yeah, I got watery for sure. I'm like, gosh, that's awesome. Like it was cool that he won. And you win the money, and you get closer to Jack Nicholson and all that stuff. But everything he said, like I even heard him afterwards in one of the like press conferences. So like, I wanted to win for my kids. My son and daughter never seen me win a championship like this, a big major. So it was awesome. Like that's the first thing.
I was about to say that's the thing that means the most to me about it. It's not the performance, because the performance. LeBron James in Miami is better than LeBron James in Cleveland, but the LeBron James ring in Cleveland meant more.
Oh, 10 times more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I think it just meant so much after all the obstacles, all the surgeries, all the publicity stunts, all the scrutiny and the optics and you failed this, the drugs, the mugshot, the scandals, all of that. He's literally hit the rock bottom. Like bottom.
DUI, bro.
Yeah, like he's not a golfer anymore. He's older. He's injured. He's like he couldn't ride on the golf course. Like he had a lustrous career. Celebrate Tiger Woods, but he's done. Like he's over with. And I saw the video where he has his iPad out and he's literally watching everybody say, Tiger Woods is done. Colin Cowherd, he's not a golfer. Everyone's saying he's done. I mean, you and I thought he was done. I would say, like, for him to win it and the way he did it, and then, like you said, the emotional impact on it. And the thing is, he's like the one athlete you could truly say is bigger than the sport he plays. Because Tom Brady's not bigger than the Shield. Jordan is absolutely amazing. He wasn't bigger than the NBA. He was monumental, impacted the NBA forever. LeBron James isn't bigger than the NBA. He certainly helps the ratings. Tiger Woods quadruples the ratings. I have people I've never, ever, ever heard the word golf come out of their mouth before say Tiger Woods won the Masters. You have MMA fighters saying it. You have NBA players, NFL players, retired players, celebrities. Hugh Jackman. You and I are talking about it on the podcast. Well, how often have we talked golf? Like
3 times.
That's what I'm saying.
168 episodes.
He is the one athlete I think is bigger than the sport he played.
100%. Like that's Muhammad Ali is legendary, iconic, but people will debate and argue like Mike Tyson or Floyd Money Mayweather, like what he's done, the money part of it, bringing it mainstream a little bit, all that stuff. Because that's probably one of the best points in the locked-in history.
Oh, thank you.
It's just like baseball. Like baseball moves on. Like players retire. It's going to be sad in 3 years when LeBron walks away. Like Melo's not playing, Wade's not playing. Like Dirk just retired, Wade just retired. Like it happens. It's the circle of life. Like the Lion King about to come out. Great trailer, by the way. But Tiger Woods on a big Sunday wearing that red, yeah, like kids, girls, grandmas, any race, any religion. He like breaks through barriers.
That's a good call. My grandma's a huge Tiger Woods fan. Like huge.
That's, for real,
huge.
Like no grandma's like
I can't wait to watch Steph Curry shoot a 3. Like, I mean, he's the face of the NBA.
Yeah, Habib Nurmagomedov, undefeated fighter. Like no grandma cares. Like kind of, it's just
Tiger Woods. I'm gonna watch it.
Like I'll say Giannis, and like some of my friends are like, who? I'm like, he's the best basketball player in the world right now, the Greek Freak. And they're like, what? Like
Tiger Woods. You're like, oh
yeah, he's amazing.
I thought about it. I'm like, okay, and we always do off scripts. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with this? And now let's just add a couple faces to Mount Rushmore. They added you and I. So now you have, like, now we could debate about LeBron, but I would even put Jordan on the Mount Rushmore to represent basketball. Like I would. Because you could debate on who's better, but his impact on the game.
Of course.
The Jordan brand, the shoes, the sneakers, the global iconic. So I would have Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, Tom Brady.
There's only 4 on Mount Rushmore, bro. How many are you going?
That's what I said. I added you and I.
So there's 6 spots?
Yeah, so now I created 6 spots, like one to represent each sport. So now, like, to represent each sport, who would you put on there? And there's more than 6 sports, but like just the big ones, what I'm saying is, so you have Muhammad Ali for boxing, and you could debate Floyd's better than him, but what he did for the sport of boxing, the political stuff, the Vietnam stuff, he was huge. Jordan for basketball. I would do Tom Brady for the NFL.
Wait, just Can I love this a little bit. I'm writing. Let's just say there's a Mount Rushmore, a normal 4 presidents, right? Who's the 4 biggest iconic sports? Who's the Mount Rushmore of sports? 4 people.
So eliminate every sport?
Yeah, you can have 4 football players who you're like, hey, they're the 4 biggest of all time.
Oh, to me, it's easy.
Okay.
Ali, because I felt like he was bigger than boxing.
Sure.
Like he was global, iconic, political, stood for everything. Tiger Woods, because the way he impacts, like I said, bigger than golf.
Okay.
I would go Jordan for what he did for basketball and made it global.
Okay.
The 4th one's harder because I want to put Michael Phelps on there, but I don't think swimming is as big as the NFL. Where I want to say Tom Brady, but Serena Williams, what she did.
Yeah.
So the 4th part's the hardest for me.
It's
the
tough.
first 3 are easy.
So Jordan, Ali, Tiger. Lock in someone for 4. Lock someone in. Because I got mine.
I'm going to put Brady.
Brady. Okay. Mine's easy, guys. Tom Brady, the best champion. Football's the biggest sport in the world right now. There's just no question about it. It's ratings on everything. Patriot, 1 team, 6 championships. Amazing. Tom Brady. Tiger Woods, totally agree. Bigger than the sport itself. All the championships, Masters, all that, 100%. I sadly agree with the Jordan. I want LeBron on there so bad, Cuzzo. Want him. I want it. I hope it's going to happen. The Lakers need to win. I think 2 championships, and he'll slide on there. 1 is probably not enough just because of how bad
Jordan.
this year, and Jordan. But it's Jordan. My last one, I disagree with Ali.
Wow.
I'm going with Babe Ruth.
No, that's like you can't argue with the Babe.
Yeah, like baseball is America's pastime, and 100 years ago, 80 years ago, 60 years ago, 40 years ago was football. And I think football has been the GOAT of sports for like a decade. Maybe
the baseball
pushing
was
15.
the sport.
Yeah, the baseball was the best sport for 50 years. And he was the best player, the most iconic player, the championships with the Yankees. The Yankees, to me, is the most iconic brand or team in any sport.
Yeah,
bigger than the Cowboys, bigger than the Lakers, and he's like the best Yankee ever. And they made movies and all that stuff. Ali's great. You're saying like you had like Phelps, Serena. They're up there, bro. They're insane. But I got Babe Ruth.
I wouldn't there's no right or wrong to this. So the reason why I put Ali over Babe Ruth is because what his impact on everything, like. He inspired LeBron James. He inspired Kareem. He inspired Magic Johnson. Like, he's inspired Floyd. Like, he's inspired so many people to the point where it's more than boxing. He said, no, I'm not going to go to Viet Cong because no Viet Cong called me this. Like, he's not going to let somebody say he can't do something because of his religion. And I'm not trying to get into politics, but I'm just saying he stood for what he believed in no matter what.
No politics on the Locked In Sports Podcast.
Take away my boxing license. I'm bigger than boxing. And he's standing for social rights. He's standing for he was an activist while he's the best boxer of all time. And then, of course, the biggest fight of any combat sporting event ever, him and Joe Frazier. I just... Like I said, you can't be wrong with Babe Ruth, but just for Muhammad Ali...
You're not wrong with Muhammad Ali. I don't think you're wrong with that. If you want to talk politics, go to the Winners Bar in Port Orange, Florida. You can talk to the waiter, waitress, the bartender. Great drinks. They have a good outside area. So go to Winners Bar in Port Orange, Florida.
That was a very good plug. Very good plug.
So more off script. I'm going with I'm just the biggest Mount Rushmore fan in the whole entire world. So if you had to do a Mount Rushmore since... I'm going to kind of put... What year were you born? 1990?
Don't give it away.
Oh. So no Muhammad Ali, no Babe Ruth. So just a Mount Rushmore in the last 20, 25 years. Even I'm going to cancel the first three-peat of Michael Jordan. Washed away. So sports restarted it. So aliens came to this universe. So around 1990 and above. And I have mine. You want me to go? Can I go first on this one?
Mm-hmm.
So Jordan's off. So LeBron goes on.
Yep.
The most iconic athlete, I think, for the last decade, 15 years. Best basketball player since I think he's the second best ever. Right behind Jordan. So LeBron's on. I'm keeping Tiger Woods on. because he started winning towards the 97s, and then, the best.
And then now, 2019.
Tom Brady stays on.
Yeah, because
and Tom Brady becomes even the number one Mount Rushmore because he's on the 4 and just the most championships of any player since the 90s. The 4th spot.
Yeah, I feel like we have the same one. Go ahead.
I don't think so. You said his name earlier, and you went back and forth a couple.
Yep.
Michael Phelps. I think the medals and I know it's hard because it is swimming, but he's like iconic. He is bigger than the sport of swimming. Guys, every 4 years, I love the Olympics. The beginning of it is awesome. Gymnastics is always cool. Team girls gymnastics. I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for it. And the the big dive. But I would never watch swimming. It's just not my thing. But then when Phelps was on for those 8 years, it was incredible.
Yeah, I'm about to say I agree with the LeBron. I agree with the Tiger. And I agree with the Brady. I knew those were going to be on there. The 4th one's hard. I was thinking Phelps. You can't forget about Usain Bolt. He's up there.
Nah, screw Bolt.
And then
he got tested. PEDs.
Wow.
He got tested.
Sleeper. Because I may lean with the Phelps one, and of course Serena Williams should be noticed on there. A sleeper is Floyd Mayweather.
Ooh,
because
that's a good one.
I thought you were going to go Floyd or Phelps. I'm leaning a little Phelps,
that's a good one.
Because the fact that he's 50-0, because he is, you could argue the greatest of all time. I wouldn't put Floyd as the greatest, but I would certainly put him 2, 3, 4. You got to put him up there. I probably would lean towards Floyd because of his longevity of it. Phelps is every 4 years the Olympics.
Yeah.
I think because how consistently he's boxed, 50 fights, won them all, new generation.
That's a good one.
And on top of that, he's had the biggest combat sporting events probably because I know him and McGregor broke records, but I think him and Pacquiao was even bigger as far as pay-per-view numbers. Could be wrong on that one, but both of them are the biggest fights of modern era.
Yeah, so, he's a boss for sure.
Yeah, so I'd probably put Floyd up there.
Wow, that's a great one.
Completely off script.
God, all off script. This is the greatest sports podcast in the world. Any sports podcast, any podcaster, anyone in the business, come at me. Max and I will debate you for an hour straight in any sport, any team, any position. If you want to talk about the number 2 wide receiver spot for the Dallas Cowboys,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm telling you, Floyd's a sleeper.
No, that's a good one. Wow, that's really good.
That wrap it up on the Tiger.
Yeah, wraps it up on Tiger. Just a great moment. I loved him hugging his son. And then the redemption, the comeback, not even the comeback to, win the Masters again, but then he was losing. Usually he's ahead and dominates and everyone kind of falters under the pressure. Tiger had to make comeback putts to win. It was incredible. Great, awesome. I was watching golf on a Sunday.
Yeah, there we go. And then we had UFC 236. Dustin Poirier beats Max Holloway for the interim lightweight championship. Israel Adesanya defeats Kelvin Gastelum for the interim middleweight championship. Wow. I know, wow. And first of all, I'm not going to say two of the best, but 2 of some of the best title fights we've absolutely ever seen. Israel Adesanya.
The best ever combination of 2 fights in one night.
Yeah, and I think tonight's an apology night because I apologize to Joaquin Phoenix, the people I spoiled Game of Thrones for, and now the apology is going to go towards Dustin Poirier because I underestimated him. I knew he had a legitimate chance.
Yeah.
I had Max Holloway winning, but I didn't realize the power difference. I thought they fought before, and I know Dustin Poirier won. I'm just a huge Holloway guy. But not just a fan, but just the style, the way he fights, his heart, his grit, his mentality, the dog. Poirier had a lot more power than I thought he had, and it impacted the whole fight. But we talked about Tiger Woods' comeback story. Dustin Poirier's had 23 fights inside the UFC, and got knocked out by Conor. He's been down. He's been out. He's been counted out, and he finally won a title. That's a comeback story that should be both fighters should be congratulated because of the performance. But I owe Dustin Poirier an apology because, and we're going to be right and wrong in this business, but he proved me wrong, and I think he proved everybody wrong, the fact that he was able to build all the way back up for the title. Yeah,
no, it's a great point, but it's underrated. So, yeah, he got knocked down by Conor. That was 6 years ago, and he lost to Michael Johnson. That was one of his. It was weird. I looked it up. His record, dude. He's on a 5-fight win streak. Max Holloway he did not lose anything to me. Like, he's still top 5 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Like, amazing. He
went up in weight.
Yeah, he went up in weight. It was a great fight. Like, savage, dog, the walking zombie, he was incredible. Nothing away from Max Holloway. The 2-3 fights before that, Dustin beat Justin Gaethje, who's one of the hottest lightweights in the world. Everyone loves him. Showtime Pettis. He beat Eddie Alvarez when kind of Eddie Alvarez was doing his thing when he was he was the champ, lost to Conor, and then he lost to Dustin. Like, his Dustin's got wins against some of the greatest fighters of all time. And Dustin was a 145er, now he's 155er. Like, I think, like what you were kind of saying, just not even last, Saturday night, UFC 236, just for a while. He's an underrated fighter for the last 5, 8, 10 years.
And want to know what he reminds me of? And it'd be shout out to American Top Team right now with Billy Patton and all them. I think he is like his American Top Team guy, Robbie Lawler. Because if you remember, Robbie Lawler, when he was in the UFC, had a pretty good career. Yeah. And he lost. He went out, went to Strikeforce and all that stuff. Then he came back. And it's like, oh, wow, he's rejuvenated. Like, he reinvented himself to the point where he went on a win streak there. He became a became a champion, came to the UFC and won the belt and, defended it. And I'm like, this was not the same Robbie Lawler for when he was young in the UFC earlier, because he was just reckless with a lot of power. And he, he's older and he's not as explosive, still powerful, heart, chin, gritty, dog, great guy outside of the octagon, great guy inside the octagon. Even with the Ben Askren controversy, he's like, no, seriously, you're good. It's fine. He wasn't upset. Yeah. You and I were upset maybe. He wasn't even upset.
He's a stud, bro.
Yeah, and then he became champion. He reminds me of that because he's a slugger, chin, great guy in and out of the octagon, has power, has been defeated, overcame it, reinvented himself, went on a win streak, and now won the title. But now the interesting part for me, and we'll get into it, is the lightweight picture now with Khabib Nurmagomedov and his suspension. Okay. Conor McGregor, who we all know will come out of retirement and fight, who wants the rematch with Khabib. And then, Justin Gaethje. And then Tony Ferguson, who has his CTE thing going on. There's so much.
I got you. Just real quick, before we get into all that, and I'm in there with you, I do want to mention, you put Robbie and Dustin.
Yeah, very similar.
There's a lot of similarities about him, and I love that. The one thing I'll give Dustin the edge on, and he just he never left. He stayed in the UFC and kind of stuck with it. So even when he lost to Cub Swanson, he stayed in there. Conor. He lost to Conor, and then after Conor, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4 wins in a row, and then he lost to that Michael Johnson fight, and then another Jim Miller. He beat Showtime Pettis. He kind of stuck with it, and he never went away to get your mojo back, because let's just be honest, the UFC is just tougher. You have tougher fights. So I think Robbie left and then got great confidence and mojo in his game. Dustin stuck in it in the quicksand, which is the UFC featherweight and lightweight divisions.
One thing I want to see, though, can he defend it? And if he lost it, could he get it back like Robbie did? Because Robbie got it back after he lost to Johnny Hendricks in a war. Yeah. And with Khabib, I think, and I'm not trying to keep underestimating Dustin, but Khabib's 27-0. He's pound for pound 1 or 2 with John Jones. I think he's a bad matchup for Dustin. And then if Justin Gaethje, I think he may be able to beat Justin Gaethje because he beat him once.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's Tony Ferguson, I don't know where he's at in the CTE thing going on, but I really think that he could be a huge dark horse in this whole thing. It's weird. I think Dustin ends up fighting somebody. Conor and Khabib rematch. I just feel that happens.
I'm gonna. We're kind of maybe towards the end, but I'm gonna give you my locked in.
Go ahead.
Sometimes we do it early. Sometimes we wait to the very end of the show. But I do want to tell people definitely to like our Instagram page, locked_in, Also follow us on Facebook. You can like us. You can join the community. We're putting up videos, pictures, the podcast, links, everything. Right. And and another big shout out to Fight Bananas, fightbananas.com. Check that out. Great website for MMA. That's what we're talking about now. My locked in, and Conor, Tony, Gaethje, none of them have fights. They're all open. We got Raging Al versus Cowboy Cerrone coming up. Dustin versus Khabib. That's the next fight. He's the interim champion. He was just, I don't know if you saw like some of the videos with him and his girl after the fight. Dustin's beat up. Mm-hmm. Like his eyes are busted open. Max Holloway just literally walking through cement to punch Dustin. Like Max got some punches off, right? So I think he needs rest, and I think he's super smart. I think American Top Team is super smart. Look at Amanda Nunes, who fought Cyborg and beat her within 50 seconds. She still hasn't fought since. Like, she's waiting to UFC 239, which is in July. She fought the end of last year. She's waited 7 months. So I think American Top Team knows the best, biggest fight. Dude, they can fight in Russia. They can fight in a stadium. They can fight at Cowboy Stadium. Dustin versus Khabib is a humongous matchup. Humongous fight. I don't think Dustin's going to lose that. So I think that's the fight. I think I've been calling this one too. We mentioned it with Professor John, who was with us watching UFC 236. I think Ray Janelle beats Cowboy. Conor comes back and he wants Ray Janelle. I think that's a great matchup for Conor. He's so much bigger, longer, and I think he wants to stand and can, just punch Ray Janelle in the face. And Conor needs a win. I don't think, guys, Conor wasn't the champion when he fought Khabib for the title. Khabib was the champion. So he lost to him. Like, why should a loser of a title get an immediate rematch? Sometimes the champion doesn't get an immediate rematch.
Well, to defend Conor, not just off the pay-per-view buys, he was the lightweight champion that got stripped. He got stripped because he beat Eddie Alvarez, fought Floyd, and came back. So he never technically lost the title.
No, I understand. But that fight, he wasn't the champion.
Yeah, because he got stripped. So technically, no, but it's like when John Jones got stripped. Like, he's fighting for the title when he comes back.
No, I know, but he fought for the title. He wasn't the champion against who did he? Because he didn't fight DC. Oh, it was him versus Gus.
Yeah, and Gus
for the vacant championship. He wasn't the championship going into it. So that's my point. Like you're right with your point, but like my point is Conor wasn't the champion in that fight. He was the challenger, and usually a champion loses his title, sometimes doesn't get a... Stipe still has not got a rematch, and he was the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. So Conor goes in as a challenger, never the champion versus Khabib. Like, he shouldn't get an automatic rematch. Like, he needs, to me, get a W first. Ray Janelle, Cowboy Cerrone, you can go all in with Justin Gaethje versus Conor McGregor. Put that fight in Dublin. That's amazing. Like, and if he beats Gaethje, no one will say, "Hey, you're giving Conor high privileges," all that stuff. He beats Gaethje, you get the title shot.
Yeah, there's 100% no disagreement. Stylistically, from a matchmaking point of view, from resume, from the fight cards, from the everything makes sense for Conor not to fight Khabib again, but he's going to end up fighting Khabib again. Right away, I think.
Really?
And I don't think it should happen. I agree with you. I wish Conor would fight Al Quinta. I wish Conor would fight Cowboy. I wish he would fight somebody that's a normal fight. Like, you don't deserve to get a title again. Show why you're Conor McGregor. Get a win over a legitimate guy. Yeah. And it'd be good for him to get a win column again and then fight him. But because of Conor's ego, because of Conor's value to the company, to how much money he brings, Dana White's all about money, the new ESPN deal, it's all about ratings. He's going to end up getting an immediate rematch, in my opinion, and if he doesn't, I'm glad, just because of who he is. Like, I don't think it's right.
Okay.
I just feel like Conor shouldn't have gotten it, you can argue, against Khabib. But he got it because it's Conor. Tony should have fought Khabib.
Oh, yeah.
But Conor got it. Like, Conor shouldn't have fought Eddie Alvarez probably right away. But he got it. Like, he was the first person.
He was on a great winning streak. Yeah. He was moving up. That was like the beginning of this whole champ thing. So, I don't really mind that one. It's my locked in, cousin. The next fight Dustin fights, and the next fight that Khabib fights, Dustin versus Khabib, interim versus the undisputed light champion. They fight probably at UFC 242, 243, Dustin Poirier versus Khabib Nurmagomedov.
That'd be good. That would be good. Guys, this podcast is available on any podcast platform. Download and subscribe. I'm back from my cruise. You're back. We're locked in. Get a t-shirt. Follow us on social media. Download, subscribe, and ask questions because we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. Twitter.
We stand and bang. We go toe for toe.
I love it. Talking about standing and banging. I don't want to leave you because the middleweight championship of the world. So the main event was a great fight, great title fight. Dustin won. But to me, it was more lopsided. It was 80% the Diamond, 20% Blessed, Max Holloway. The main event was 55-45. To me, it was a back-and-forth war. A lot of people had 2-2 going into the fifth. So with the last style bender, Calvin Gastelum, that was just an all-time fight. That was, to me, the best interim championship fight of all time.
Yeah, and I said it. First of all, I think Max Holloway was more 50-40, 60. I mean, 50, not 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. I really had Max Holloway higher on the scorecards than you did.
Really?
I did, because the quantity kept moving forward, kept hitting him. Max Holloway Dustin would rock him, and he landed the quality, the more significant shots. He won the fight.
Yeah, the judges only had Max win in one round, though.
Yeah, I disagree. Professor and I agreed on this, because he would just keep moving forward. He'd win 3-4 minutes of the round. And then, he would get rocked really badly. Poirier won the round. But it was closer than people think.
Is that a quantity versus quality thing, though?
Yeah, and I agree with it in this case. Poirier definitely won the fight. I just think it's closer than what people said. Okay. Then with the Adesanya fight, that's what impressed me the most, because everyone knows Stylebender's more talented and he's flashy and he's signs of Anderson Silva, but this was the first time he was tested, and it was the first time he went through a war, 5 rounds, and people take it for granted 5 rounds, but Conor McGregor can't go 5 rounds like he did against Nate Diaz, but that was tough. A lot of people can't go 5 rounds at that speed. He did it. And he faced adversity. We thought he was probably done after round 1, and the momentum, it's like, okay, you got me in round 1, I got you in round 2, so the fight's mine. Awesome. No, you got me in round 3 now. So it's not like he faced adversity, overcame it. He faced adversity, overcame it, then faced it, and then overcame it, and then faced it. So that was amazing for a young fighter to be, and he's undefeated still.
Yeah, all that you said, ditto. And same thing, Calvin didn't lose that much to me. I think he's back. I think he fights a Weidman, a Jacare, a Yoel Romero. He stays in that top 5
He was
area.
impressive.
And then, if we can talk about it, Stylebender versus Whitaker. And it's already, Dana kind of threw that out there. It's probably going to be in Australia. They're going to try to put that in a soccer stadium because Adesanya is an undefeated interim champion. And Whitaker is the undisputed middleweight champion who's been doing work. He went to war with Yoel Romero's. He's amazing. I think he's actually an underrated champion, and that fight would be incredible.
Bold take already. Whitaker's I think he's already a heavy favorite. Everyone I've spoken to about it now, and Vegas may come out with something differently, everyone thinks Whitaker. Every person I've asked says Whitaker. And I'm not making my pick yet, but Adesanya has my gut feeling of winning and shocking it, because Whitaker has beaten a lot of people, and he's impressive. He is everything you said. I think Adesanya is almost the underdog in this fight, and I think he can shock the world.
Well, usually the champion is the favorite, right? Not always. Remember, Ortega was the favorite against Max Holloway 8 months ago. I love when we disagree, because we go back and forth. This was easier. I agree with you. I think the last Stylebender beats Whitaker. Last Stylebender, his offense is like a John Jones and an Anderson Silva type. He can just win in more ways than a normal fighter. A spinning back elbow, question mark kick.
Can't teach that.
You can't teach it.
Creativity, imagination. And
I think that the only thing I needed to see, and maybe he needed to see and go through, is adversity, a war, and he did it with flying colors. So he's undefeated. I think the last Stylebender era has begun in the middleweights.
We'll see it. If he beats Whitaker after beating Gastelum, and I know Anderson Silva was older, but Anderson Silva's a name, and you beat Anderson Silva.
Unbelievable run. One of the best middleweight runs of all time.
It could be. Dave.
Yeah.
Download, subscribe to Locked In, my man.
Okay. Check us out.
I think you subscribed, right?
I listened to it 3 times, actually. Check us out, guys, on YouTube. I'm excited. We're just throwing out content everywhere. Max is on 104.7 in the mornings. Check that out. We hit up Fit Meals all the time. I ate them last night. It was awesome. Sunday night. Came to my house. It was fresh. So check out Fit Meals at My Fit Meals on Facebook. Cuzzo, you can see us everywhere and anywhere.
My Locked In is I'm going to try to make Kawhi laugh because I'm able to cover the game Friday, and I'm going to try to speak to him.
Like a joke about the game, or a joke about like, hey, I heard that Thanos kills Captain America in Endgame. Like, are you going to go off pace or? I
would go off pace with 99% of the league, but because he's different, and that's not a negative. But like sure. He's like I don't know if he's watched Avengers. He may not get it. So instead of a laugh, he's looking at me with an even worse stare. So
jeez. That would be just horrible. Wait. If he has not seen Avengers, he would become my least favorite NBA player in the world. And that's locked in.
I honestly would not doubt it that he hasn't seen Avengers.
That's not American.
Who says? I don't know what Kawhi does. I mean, like,
no religion and no politics on this show, Cuzzo.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I think I can try to get him, because if he laughs weird again, then that's his laugh.
It goes live. Oh.
Like,
whoa! You think that funny laugh is his laugh?
That's what I'm saying, because we've only heard him laugh, if you think about it, pretty much once in the media.
This is like the movie Inception.
And you're like, okay, no, hold on. Now he was just, you caught him on a bad moment.
Yeah.
If I get him to laugh like that again, you're like, okay, that's Kawhi's laugh. Wow. So he has officially the weirdest laugh in the world.
My mind is blown.
I don't know what I could possibly say to make that happen. If I get a grin, I'd probably be happy.
But wait, like the Grinch grin? It's like,
yeah. I think
like the smile keeps.
I may just get like a couple teeth in there. I don't know. I don't see it happening. I really don't. I feel like I could ask him the most articulate question in the world, and I'm probably going to get "Who's good?" Yeah. Like that's just the type of guy he is.
Wait. Ask me a great Kawhi Leonard question. I'm Kawhi Leonard.
Is Kawhi Leonard the best defensive player we've seen in the last 5 years?
Maybe.
There you go. And he'll probably be like, "Ask Greg."
Yep.
We'll see.
Wow. Cuzzo, probably my second favorite episode of all time.
It's right up there. Download, subscribe, guys, and like always,
stay locked in.